So, can we go on? Can I talk about my week?
Of course you can.
Okay. Beulah, are you ready?
Yeah, well,
All right.
I think so.
Something,
You set up for this.
yeah, you might wonder. I was very angry on Wednesday. So angry that I took the day off work.
What was it? You actually took
I took the day off. I was like, I am not dealing with this. Okay, so, do you know those kind of people that like to kind of flaunt their book smarts, basically? All right, how do I do speak smart? Anyway, yeah. So there's a guy at work, book smart, but not social smart. Yeah. So I like having a deep conversation with people, but there's timing, and so what happened is that we work on emails, and he's very data driven and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, there's a book that you might like called Everybody Lies. And it's a book about how people lie on surveys. They're not a reliable source of information because people don't tell the truth. But what you can rely on is people's search habits on Google. And this is what I told him. And the book is about looking at the personalities behind those search habits and seeing who's has weird kinks and who's racist and stuff like that. For example, people were searching really racist search terms for Barack Obama. So he comes out and says, basically, he says, just because someone searches for something, racist search term doesn't mean that person himself is racist.
That's the thing he held on to.
I was like, okay, I kind of understand, because for me, if I was searching for something and I was saying the subject was about racism, it doesn't make me racist. Yeah. But I said, okay, but in the book he's talking about specific racist terms about Barack Obama and stuff like that, so they were calling him the N-word and stuff like that. And then he uses this as a segue. And I was just like,
How?
you know when time slows down, you're like, something really annoying is going to happen. So he was like, he basically doesn't agree with, he was talking about rappers using the N-word in the music, right?
Can we just clarify what race this man is?
Huh? What race?
He's
white Jewish.
He's a white man.
The caucasity.
So he was saying he doesn't agree with the fact that they're using the N-word in the songs. I'm like, okay. And I was just like, first, I was like, are we? I'm going to bleep that out.
You won.
I will. Are we really gonna have this conversation? Are we really going there? Are we? And he continued. I was like, oh my god. And there's something where it's like, if I leave him, I'm kind of. This is a chance for me to kind of educate him on something.
What time?
So, like, he was saying, yeah, they always using you might really like the song, but you can't sing the whole thing because every other line is the N-word. And he's like, he doesn't like the fact that it's in there. I'm like, okay, cool. I personally don't like the fact that I don't really care much, but I don't necessarily agree with the fact that they use it. So I'm kind of in the same kind of thing. I don't like the overuse of the N-word. And he says, yeah, well, he doesn't like the fact that, he says that he doesn't think, okay, this is what he said. He doesn't think it's worse for a white person to say it in the song than a black person using it. So he doesn't agree with the fact that black people could call each other nigger, basically. And I was just like, what? It's none of your business, really. I said basically every demographic, every kind of subgroup uses a derogatory term as endearment. Women do it with the B word. Gay people do it with the F word. Indian people do it with the P word. And if I saw women calling themselves bitches, I won't join in and say, hey, what's up, bitch? For example. And I'll around gay people, I will never use the F word. But for some reason, when it comes to black people want to basically police how we respond, how we treat each other. And I was just like, dude, honestly, you're not black. You're not even part of the conversation. And he just did not get it. He was basically trying to argue that essentially it's like, what was his argument? It was like basically in a roundabout way saying, oh, if we're not allowed to use it, you shouldn't be allowed to use it.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
They have a problem with someone telling them you can't use that
Yeah.
word, but another group of people can.
Yeah.
They think that's racist. He did.
Yeah,
Didn't he say
he said it. He said it's racist to tell another group of people that they can't use it while you're using it. And I'm like, you're actually fighting for the right to say the word nigger. And I was just like,
your head was gone.
and my head was gone. I had to take a walk. Like, basically, I got to my desk again. I was like, I can't believe I just had this conversation. I can't believe I just had this, like,
Mad.
and I couldn't do I was fuming. And we went for lunch, and on the way back, he was like, oh, I really enjoyed the conversation. I was like, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy that conversation. He was like, oh, why? I'm just like, it's a very sensitive conversation to have at work. I'm all for having a conversation, but do not do it during the work hours. Like, don't do it. It's too sensitive, and it's not fun. And he's like, oh, sorry if I offended you. I'm just like, whatever. And
Damage was done.
Damage was done. So like, I was so angry.
Did you go to HR?
Would you go to HR?
You lot are nuts.
Hello.
That stuff happens every single day in Bristol, so that's like, I wouldn't even take the day off. That's just a normal conversation.
Whistle blow.
Literally. I don't know.
What I did, I went to the suggestion box. I was just like, diversity training. I'm gonna keep going. Diversity training.
Do you want that guy Dufresne did in Shawshank Redemption when he wrote a letter every week to get a library in the prison?
Really?
And he did it for like 3-4 years and eventually got it. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep writing the diversity training because we have not a massive diverse company, but we have a lot of people from different backgrounds. We have Muslims. We have a lot of the IT team are Indian. There's a lot of black people. It's a mix. Obviously, still mainly white, but there's quite a lot of people that aren't white. And if some stuff like that is happening, like, you clearly need to train your staff because it's really not right. And I was really annoyed because I was just like, because he's kind of geeky. And when he says really awkward stuff, because he has very awkward conversations, he's an awkward guy, and he does it on purpose. Mm-hmm. People first say like, that's him just being his nerdy, weird self. But I'm just like, no, it's not cute.
At all.
It's not. And he knew he was pushing like a button, but he decided to go there. And oh my god, it really, really irritated me.
I think it's common courtesy. How do you go to somebody's house and dictate how things are done in your house?
But that's because you're not white. That's what they have a sense of entitlement, which means that they can go in any house and dictate how it is. That's what they did with all the countries in colonisation. I'm sorry, that's literally what you just described. They literally went into other people's homes and dictated what they did.
I get that, but like, you remember just before this podcast started recording, we talked about the guy that censored himself when he was singing Afrobeat songs.
He's woke. He's a lovely
why
little
can't people
anomaly.
just sit down, especially 2019, we understand, you sit down, like they should understand this. You don't go to somebody else's house and dictate the rules. If I go to your man Demi's house now, I don't just go and open the fridge and say I can take whatever I want. I don't just go and put my feet up on the couch and say, yes, well, I do this at my house, so I'm sure I can do this here. So no, like, it's common courtesy. I don't know, this is retirement. It's come from this anti-SJW, like, alt-right YouTubers, bruv. They just say, oh, why can't we say the N-word? It's not a big deal. They can call me, I don't even know if the C-word is even like a derogatory term or not, but, oh yeah, well, they can call me whatever I want. I don't care. They just don't. They understand. They just don't care. That's just the fact. I don't agree that they don't understand, because with so much information out there, with so many black people saying, you're not saying that word, don't say that word, we can say it because we've taken back that word, but you can't say it because it was used to insult ancestors for centuries. There's no way that I can look at them and say, yeah, they just don't understand, they just don't care. So every time you say it to my face, you will reap the consequences.
You're free to say it, but you're also free to
say it, but you're free to reap the consequences.
Yeah, but then when you do that, you're the one who gets punished, not them.
I'm not saying what, but I'm
just saying that's literally how it works.
The consequences. Because
like when I got kicked out of uni.
Huh?
So I've lived my entire life, since maybe the age of 8 or whatever, being the only black person in many spaces because my parents decided to move us to wherever they moved us to. And at university, I was the only black person doing my course. So in every single lecture, I was the only black person. And then for whatever reason, they decided to do a whole lecture on Martin Luther King and peaceful protest. And then I was already feeling heated because in the video, Martin Luther King was talking about all this horrible stuff that the KKK had been doing to him and his family, and how he was just like, oh, but I love them, and I invited them to dinner with me after they burnt down his house and whatever.
Mad.
And then at the end of the documentary, I was feeling heated, and I was like, oh wow, I'm surrounded by a load of white people, but okay, cool. And then the white girl who was sat next to me, who I actually came to sit, she was my friend, came to sit next to her, was like, yeah, but most black people are violent anyway.
Oh wow.
Oh God! Hey.
So I punched her. And then I proved that most black people were violent. As a result, I was the one who got kicked out, and she stayed on the lecture. So, like I said, you retaliating or trying to educate them doesn't work. So what I now do is I don't educate, I don't say nothing, I just won't respond unless I'm getting paid to do it. So now I teach white people how to treat black people, and I get paid to do it.
Oh, I like that.
Otherwise, if it's not for money, I ain't saying anything. So if that guy started talking about the N-word, I would have just walked away.
I think you should come to
if y'all want to run me my coins.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Ding.
I know someone. She good.
But yeah, otherwise no. I'm not engaging.
They're just not an ally.
I'm not engaging.
They're not an ally.
What's so annoying is that when it comes to black people like to try and decide for us how we do things. Mm-hmm. Nobody else. It's you know how it's specifically the N-word that people are fighting to use.
Of all the things that's going on in this world, with people's wages being stagnant for years, people's living in the streets. Even if people wondering where their next meal is going to come from, the biggest predicament in this world is rap music, the N-word, it's all of that shit. It's mad, isn't it?
Why do they want to say it so badly? Like, they're not used to being told you can't do something.
If we were like, yeah, sure, use it, they probably wouldn't. It's the fact that we said you can't use it. So
they use it anyway. They use it.
Yeah, of course.
No, they use it.
Of course. They shout it at the top of their lungs.
when they're driving as well.
Literally,
Oh God! I don't know if I mentioned it before. How in my previous job, the Gold Digger came on and they were all singing that
But she ain't messing with a broke N-word.
Where was this? Where did they do this?
In the karaoke night.
What did you do? Stay there?
Huh? I was just like, I left.
Okay.
Well, only one of them was just like, they were saying, don't say that.
Honestly, I don't know how I would respond. I know I would.
In your head,
my head would go like.
In your head, you think.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, in your head you think, I'm going to respond in this way. But when it actually happens, you are shocked.
Yeah, you're literally just shocked.
You're so shocked that you don't know what to do because it's just like, is this actually happening? It's very surreal. Really, really surreal. And you're just like.
There's only been twice when I've retaliated and I've had racist remarks all my life. Every other time, you're just like, did they actually just say that? Like, it just kind of throws you.
I had it once. Mm-hmm. And some guy just, when the car was running along, was like, ooh, 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 and he just drove off real fast.
He's there in the car.
Yeah, they were in the car, and I was like, oh, okay. Ooh, whoa, it's like real scary motherfuckers. Like,
should have chucked a banana at them.
I know, right? I should have chased after that. Don't go. I started saying, woo, woo.